Needs FM.
On this ruling on Asin North, NDC are still not happy because the Kinkain, the ruling there, I think, Endran, there is still a lot of question. Yegusu ebisa yehu. The issues no mess us over my time. Now you go into details. One, I hear a lot of people who claim say Honorable Quayson case no any Abu Sakandi 2011 case no the same. In law will say they are on all fall with each other. But in this case, Manyama, omunye the same. When in history, you better history na me know we were following the political activities in Ghana a year. Abu Sakandi, ye tone swaba ewie ya ye sweni in. Nastulo we took it on a British nationality passport. Now Otu Kwai as member of parliament still are no Oyusu British passport. And I'm a boy. Into Anunu when taking any step to renounce his citizenship. You get me? When two and among be a trese or per se or renouncing the citizenship. Now I pay only allegiance to Ghana. Until you turn the swaba we a pon. Now Ogusu pay allegiance to Ghana and Britain. I also that of Gyakye Quayson. Gyakye Quayson. As at November 2019. Now we're taking the step at wrong Kratabia as an individual. Who per se who die or citizenship per Canadian laws are now I hear on his part. He had done it.
As at
2019, November. Now I throw all the necessary documentation at the amount. Yana can say Canada state issue certificate of renunciation at the amount. I know on his part, no, I the obey. But due to COVID and some unforeseen circumstances, which
and only reason I was signing, yeah, and only reason Canadian one no more signing, and I'm one not a reason to back it.
In law, we have what we call force majeure, unforeseen circumstances. Inti ema renunciation no a delay. Put you, ema ni delay.
Meba, me Ada day, please.
Don't worry.
Right now, the person me want to say, Emrane can say in the process of doing the renunciation, no, bet me a pick forms to fill, say be a person a jina for a member of parliament position or whatever. And now say you do that, you renounce be a year, and son what take that step to for that MPship or whatever position that you want. Is that what it is?
Don't worry, me baho.
And now say in the process, you can go and pick your forms and start doing it.
Me baho.
Because a different thing.
Don't worry, me baho. Don't worry, me baho. And take this question into account. I will answer you.
Okay.
Into those unforeseen circumstances, they delay the process.
Okay.
But them fair numpo enye asem. You get me? Young person establishing say he took the mindset say or renouncing the Canadian citizenship. But he doesn't have the powers or no need to mean to be determined that certificate in the day. You get me? And you did 2020 mu. And you were 2020 mu. And I am going to say obe contested for an election. And a letter commission open for nomination. And or pick forms. Yeah. Supreme Court Ejina Swa Omudi give you out that ruling. He say at the time of nomination, no, not the certificate in your day. MI. Put you not the certificate, no, MI. And let's take these two cases. One, Ubakaya, proud to I think 2016 election. Honorable Pakwesi Indum, they disqualifying as presidential candidate for some reasons. Emma de assembly echo court. Anna Honorable Indum every new case on the basis say your mama Kwenya say file your nomination. Nomination ain't yet just a day. The nomination should be extended to a mere electoral commission. Then mama Kwenya ama would form saba. Electoral commission will scrutinize it and allow you for any ratification if there is the need for any ratification. That is a known as Supreme Court Gina so Emma Pakwesi Indum Ediwini that case. Into filing we are, the commission will go through the document. The mistakes be one, and so Mawa Kwenya now ratify. And no year before nomination ends. The nomination is not just a day. Another one. Two, Manjama. Emra Honorable Gyakye Quayson. A file here. We had people from Asinofa. No more MPP for, but they were in the name of concerned citizens of Asinof. Actually, on my electoral commission on this same issue. On the 27th of November, and electoral commission here na adwene say obetena sa asem no so. Na nipa na otena asem no so. Honorable Srebo or your deputy director of electoral commission. Remember, tell me very well. Before 27th of November, na electoral commission betena sa asem no so petition na efi concerned citizens of Asinof Sono. A day before, na 26th of November 2020, no, now Honorable Gyakye Quayson's certificate from the government of Canada. Now are you ready? Inti mra of court na electoral commission panel nenim on the 27th, no, na okura ne certificate of renunciation now it has been issued to him by the Canadian government. Inti enu an electoral commission ya share with eniema baaku mienu e dey approve you say obetimi aye den akọ contest or you qualified. What I make an say? By electoral commission Supreme Court in near catch yen say it was supposed to start from the day of filing in nomination. But I know say Ghana yemrano will live with what we call precedence. Because you had the friend case law. They will take precedence from Pakwesi Indum case. As Supreme Court Ankasa say, nomination ain't yet just a day. And your process I shall see fit da. Who file ye? Go see mran easy. Let's scrutinize it or document. Now if there is a need for any changes, be I can't just say call ye woman. I did see honor no. And only ever cast a nomination I end it. You get me? Into nomination and the mra electoral commission etna Honorable Gyakye Quayson assembly swa which was 27th November 2020. Okoye na a day before 26th no na the certificate aye ready no or the kochire and no electoral commission as an independent constitutionally created body e they approve say or you qualified to go and contest. Let's go into some statutes of this country. The people, representative of the People's Act, PNDC Law 284. A triangle qualification of a candidate. Section 20D. And my person make kinda uni your TF ni na den 8 what the PNDC law 284 about qualification of a candidate. Contrary to the Supreme Court actually and say, as I said, the panel through the vetting time. Oh, where is this thing? 20. Okay, 20D. Madam, I'll say the election of a candidate shall be declared void or an election petition if the High Court is satisfied. A. The kind D, you know, that the candidate was at the time of his election. Remember, emphasis on at the time of his election. And yet at the time of nomination. I just what I'm gonna say. They say at the time of election. Yeah, at the time of nomination. Because the framers of the constitution, one person more issues of nomination, they would have made it explicit. Black and white. Was it the time of election?
And you think that the Supreme Court didn't know this?
You see, the Supreme Court sometimes also can err. They are human beings. Sometimes they can err. Until they have opportunity for appeal and reviews. And there were instances that Supreme Court at the party from previous ruling. You get me? Until and unique. Say, I will sit and say, Emrani is saying, and they have not gone accordingly. You see, in this modern day of law, we have what we call MOPA. Modern purposive approach of interpretation. You see, Yambisa Yahu say, the framers of the constitution, what they no person or cure? On person, what mischief do they want to cure? Into your muka say, before I obey a public officer, and what's a holding allegiance to two different countries. I contested regional regional secretary in Greater Accra. The time I'm a far forms, can I call myself a deputy regional secretary? Time I'm a fairly, can I call myself so? Even Poya two swap barrier, they classify as elect until you are sworn in. Until you two swap bampo after 7 December, the fraud elect, MP elect. We classify you as a public officer just after swearing in. Anameboa. The president imponu, who is president from on the 7th December, and 7th January. So you aware. Unless midnight of 7th January, they swore we in and I'll be the president of the Republic of Ghana.
What were you expecting about? What were you expecting should be the ample time for Gyakye Quayson to renounce his citizenship with Canada and sign our befile and as in the process no drew on anka on yeah and can see it me disqualified.
Yeah, me can say me kind NDC law 284 channel. Yes, at the time of election. Ghana you talk about time be.
As a process in our elections no.
And I'm
from picking for your nomination forms up to when you be elected. Nina your process.
And I'm a mau, no, it's a Supreme Court. The American Affairs statute, NDC law 284. And I made reference to the Supreme Court case on Pakwesi Indum. Apart from Pakwesi
Indum, when you look at the judgment from the Supreme Court, they've also quoted other cases to back what they did. Because I will say a case law, right?
Yeah, sure.
And to almost so end Kasebia, they have all the wisdom and everything.
Sure.
They also depended on some of the cases that have been heard in similar situations. J.H. Mensah versus Attorney General, 1996, 1997. Republic versus High Court, Fast Track Division.
Sure.
Experts Traj, and an interest party, and also and then what you are saying at the Musa candidate's own, they quoted it.
Rollins, I have read the full case. You see, that person will dwell entirely on the content. Definitely, I'm going to make you reference to cases.
Yeah.
There are instances where there is no ruling from any court. One making reference to statute, constitution, or case law.
Before passing judgment.
Okay. At the same time, so you have the same judgment about and go on an appeal. Court assess the position. So the mere fact say we black and white, so we quote a lot of cases, equity statute, equity constitution. Does not mean say when you go for a review or appeal on it, they may not change their position. Sure. So no. You see what I'm saying? That is why the court, say, you can criticize their judgment. It is allowed, and a true criticization of their ruling, and yes, criticisms, and they build it on our laws.
It's when you look at the constitution, does the constitution explicitly say from this period up to this period, say only renounce you can't file for whatever position that you want, because maybe the constitution can say want me hold it to dual citizenship now me pray position.
No, you can't sit down.
A public
when
office.
you are a public officer, you can't hold
an allegiance to a different country.
When you are a public officer, you know what I mean? More example say, when do we say, or be a public officer? The mere fact that they even, let me use the Chief Justice. Chief Justice Tokunu yet to be. They are nominating, what is so called
appointment
committee. He was called a Chief Justice.
No,
I am nominee. You get me? Obey Chief Justice after approval and was swear the oath.
Okay.
Now obey public officer. So this I'm just trying to for us to add common sense.
Sure, I'm following you.
And 1 year from the public officer. My example say, me far from semi contest the NDC Deputy Regional Secretary. I was not the officer. On the day of election, I was not the officer. Even your two so bampo ria. That's a service in place. We can't say the NDC Deputy Regional Secretary has died. Because until they swear you in, they are not what so it's still the substantive. So I'm not a public officer. It has to be a public officer. Into nama on Abu Sakan DNA different.
Okay.
Because Abu Sakan DNA, you're to the swab barrier. You get me? Soprano. You're to the swab barrier. That's when he in. And he was still holding the citizenship of Britain, even using omo passport, which the prosecutor proved that presented in evidence. They know the British passport. So at the time, no, you're public officer, no, not on renounce here, but in the case of Gyakye Quayson, the American said on the 27th, an electoral commission, that's not the petition by the citizens of concerned citizens of Asenof, no, not 26th, no. Now when you're in the reason the renunciation certificate from Canada into a court panel name, he presented all those documents. I don't think the man electoral commission a man approval that he can go and contest. Alright, the material said in Indum's case, the Supreme Court made us to understand say a nomination and yet the mere fact say my fellow forms never presented ends nomination because there can be some mistakes at the time you were filling the forms. In the electoral commission, Timmy Mawa Kwenya. Now, if there's a need for some corrections, why corrections? No? It is when all those things and ratification ends and the nomination has ended. You get me? In the time when your friend was easy now, yet now it is part of the nomination process by the reasoning from the Hindum's case. In the next one, go into the criminal aspect of it. He can be jailed using the same secondis issue.
Okay.
But the two cases are the same because current one here, civil. Criminal case, you prove beyond all reasonable doubt.
Sure.
Civil, you prove on preponderance of probability, which is just small. So you can easily do that.
Thank you very much. And I would say Godwin Mahama of the NDC.
Needs FM.